I'm gonna start with the white acrylic paint for the base so that the colors will be more vibrant. Just like what we usually do with a regular nail polish. For gradient, we will add white base first so that the gradient colors on top will pop out even more. So this is the wedge sponge that we're gonna use. So I decided to do a test gradient first to see how the acrylics will work on my nails, and I also don't want to waste any paints or sponges. I'm using red and blue colors for the sample gradient. While dabbing it, I saw that the textures from the sponges were seen on the acrylics while it's still wet. So I kind of freaked out because I thought it will show up when it dries, but it didn't. So now we'll be washing the brush and the sponge just by using water. If you're using a nail polish for gradient, you'll need to chop off the sponge to create a new gradient, but with acrylics you'll just have to wash it and squeeze it out of the sponge so that you won't need to chop any sponge and you won't waste anything. So as you can see, if you soak the sponge in water and squeeze it out, the paint will easily drip out of the sponge. Easy, right? Now we're gonna soak all the water from the sponge using just a random rug or a cloth, or maybe you can use a tissue paper, but I don't really want to waste anything, so I'm using just a random cloth on the Since the first one was just a trial, I'll be removing it by putting water on it and just pushing it using my nail. I'm not using any cuticle pusher because I currently don't have anything with me. I left it on my dorm. I'm also just pushing the acrylic paints around my fingers. If you're using a nail polish, you'll need to rub acetone or use a liquid latex around the nail so that it will be protected from the excess nail polish that will be dabbed onto the nail. After that, we're gonna wipe out the the acrylics off my nail using the cloth that we used earlier. Just gonna rub it lightly. Don't worry guys, it's clean. I'm just removing the excess and the little spots on my nail. And then we're gonna start mixing the colors that we're gonna use with the gradient. So now I want to achieve the light pastel peachy color for the top gradient. So I'll be mixing a dot of red and a dot of yellow with a bunch of white acrylic paints so that it will be more pastel. So I'm just gonna swirl, swirling. I dip my brush in water so that the swirling will be more smoother because my acrylics are starting to dry.
Swirl, and until you achieve this kind of consistency.
Color, we're using a white and a dot of red to achieve this pink look. Now we're gonna add a white base again on all of my nails. It's okay to be streaky. As I have said earlier, it will be covered with gradient, and it's okay to be opaque. It's okay to be less opaque, since our goal for this white is so that the colors will be more vibrant. Now we're gonna add the pink the pink on the sponge for just brushing it, and the pastel peachy shade. Dab dab dab. I'm dabbing it and I can see that there are bubbles. Maybe it's because of the fact that the consistency of the acrylics is a bit watery. That's why it has bubbles and it's less opaque. Just add more layers so that it will be opaque. That's why we're on the second layer now. We're gonna dab dab again. Just like what we did earlier. Dab 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 dab. You can see that my pointy finger has dried smooth. So while my ring finger and my pinky finger starting to dry, I'm gonna add the third layer from my middle finger, then my pointy finger. Pointy. Dab dab dab. Then wait for it to dry again. Then we'll have a smooth consistency. I mean smooth nails. It only took less than 5 minutes. 3 minutes for it to dry. Really touch dry. It's so thin, not a thick layer. And it looks really, really smooth. See, it's really dry. I'm tapping it and nothing goes on my finger. So now we'll be removing the excess acrylic paint on the side of my finger by scraping it. So this is kind of painful. So I decided to dip the brush on the water and brush the side of my nail.
It soaked the acrylic and now it starts to come off really smoothly. I'm just scraping my sides gently so I won't hurt myself. I'm slowly... Ooh, looks weird. Yeah, there, I'm starting to scrape off the excess so that it will be clean. And I will rub some off my fingers. There, just cleaning up a few things and we will be finished. We're gonna top off with a quick dry top coat so that it will be sealed, because if we wash our hands, the acrylics will immediately be removed out of the fingernails if we didn't add a top coat.